Hello and welcome to My Mom's Basement and a very special loaded episode of My Mom's Basement. We're recapping Daredevil, we're recapping Invincible, and we're recapping The Boys this week. Clem, it is a absolutely loaded show, as I said. Before we started recording, I told you I have 1,100 words worth of notes just in my notes app for this week. It's going to be a heavy one to tackle, but I'm excited to talk about everything that we're recapping today.
Very special loaded. That was what we decided on. This is what Robbie decided on the fly. I think you're right, because this is the thing. It's going to be the same thing next week. This is recapaganza, recap extravaganza.
I like that. Recapaganza.
Recapaganza.
Hashtag this week. Recapaganza.
There is a lot of recapping going on in the basement for the next few weeks at the very least, and then we slowly start losing stuff. But then I think stuff starts coming back on the plate. The plate is, we are in buffet zone right now, folks, and it's the good buffet. It's not the really crappy, I don't really know what kind of meat this is. This is some good meat we have on this buffet right now.
And we are recapping those 3 shows today. We also saw Mall Shadow Lord debuted earlier this week with 2 episodes. We already did a quick hitter on Mall Shadow Lord. So if you're looking for a recap of that, we did it. We're going to have that be a separate video because as we have basically already laid out, we have so much over the next few weeks and even months that I don't want to have just crazy loaded episodes where if people are tuning in for just the Star Wars stuff, they have to make sure they go to 148.09. Like, I didn't want to make everything too confusing. It already is confusing enough. So if you're looking for the Star Wars stuff, we're putting that in a separate video every week. We'll have some guests join us for that. It's going to be very fun. We've got Jace from Telluride Bush joining this Monday. And then I also, of course, have Super Critics coming out every week, every Thursday with Clemmer. This week is Ninja Turtles. Next week is Dick Tracy, a movie that I haven't seen in like 15 years, but it was one of my favorites growing up. So I'm excited for everything the basement has. We called it the year of the basement. It truly is the year of the basement. Clem, as of this week, we are matched with our total 2026 views and total 2025 views. Wow. Over 10,400,000 views on the channel. And I said I wanted 20 million by the end of the year. We're on pace to smash that.
We got to keep it going, though, because you never know. We don't want to hit a dry spell. So April 9th, we do have, what's it called, coming up, too. We do have another Throne show coming up. Was Night of the
House
Seven
of the Dragon
Kingdoms
this summer?
Was Night of the Seven Kingdoms January, or was that last year?
Yeah.
Was that 25? Okay,
it was January.
That definitely gave us a boost. Shout out to them. They definitely, and you know, the wrestling stuff always very much appreciated.
Thank God, again, shout out WWE, AEW, anyone giving us interviews, we'll take them.
Yeah, we'll take it. We'll get the views. And to anyone listening that is like, hey, do you like you guys cover this, cover that? There's a whole other world on YouTube that doesn't always make it to the audio form. I'm an audio form guy. I think that makes me kind of an unk. I know how many people have gone into the YouTube world, or Netflix now has become a thing. But for the audio listeners, get on that basement YouTube, subscribe, and you can find a bunch of stuff. Bob, you never know when Bob's just going to like tour a crazy hotel in Vegas. There's a lot of cool stuff. But keep it loose in the basement. So a lot of fun stuff.
And we're nearing. Speaking of like the audio side of things, we're near an episode 500. This is episode 494, which again, if you look at our feed, I think we actually have close to 600 episodes already, but some of them were labeled Friday bonus episodes. Some of them were labeled differently, like Star Wars. We keep the numbers confusing, as I always say, but we're approaching episode 500. We'll have to do something special for that. I don't know what it is yet, but we got to make that a little bit extra.
Could we? Is that going to line up with Mando?
It's close. I've looked at it. I think it's pretty close. It might be a little before Mando, so maybe that could be like our big Mando preview episode.
Or we like just straight up abandon the numbers for a couple episodes.
We could throw in like a 499.5.
Yes,
yes. We could do that and save it for the Mando episode, maybe. Yeah, that's the thing is we have obviously a lot of our views have come from YouTube Shorts. Shout out to YouTube Shorts for also launching up our views on the channel here, but we have the biggest movies of the year still to come. We have Doomsday. We have Mando and Grogu. We have The Odyssey. We have Disclosure Day. We have a ton of movies that we want to talk about. Supergirl. We have Lantern still coming up. 2026 really is the year of the basement until 2027, and then that really becomes the year of the basement.
The basement then owns the year, or the year. Yeah, we are then 20.
Then the basement is the house.
Yes, we are the house. This movie year is just really exciting, even for like Toy Story 5. Like if the Michael Jackson movie doesn't suck. Like, there's a lot of things where
I just saw the drama this week. The drama, unbelievable movie. Highly recommended to everyone out there. Like, Robert Pattinson and Zendaya should be in every single movie ever. And I found out, by the way, it is Zendaya. You gotta say Zendaya, not Zendaya. So I was wrong on that for sure for my whole life.
I say it wrong and I just have to embrace it, but I would have loved if I was somehow right and I could just point at everyone who's been correcting me, unfortunately. But shout out to boy Justin Crowley, called it on the drama as well. He is he's an insider. Turns out he is really an insider. He's very good at his job.
He knows what he's talking about. Yeah. And you could still go back and listen to that episode. That's pretty evergreen, our conversation with Justin Kroll about the movies to still come this year. So go check that out. Follow Justin Kroll as well. He's always breaking new movie news. And we have some new, it's not necessarily a movie, but it blurs the line of movie and TV show, because right before we started recording, we got a Punisher special presentation trailer. Now it is like, it's not a show, it's not a movie, it's a special presentation, which we've been asking for more of out of Marvel, because when they did it with like Werewolf by Night, that was awesome. They're like, yeah, that's how you should do this with a lot of your characters. I think this looks sick. Like, the tone of this trailer was very Punisher to me, in a way that wasn't even very like MCU to me. It feels darker. It feels heavier. Feels like you're dealing with, the ghosts of his past and whatnot. There's a lot of fire in this trailer. It gets lit on fire in this trailer. It's called One Last Kill. It debuts the week after Daredevil wraps up. So I actually threw everything in my calendar. I started throwing like when shows come out in my calendar. This will be on Tuesday, May 12th, Punisher One Last Kill. I think it looks real great.
Damn, it's that loaded of a year where Bob's using the calendar. When an employee at Barstool has to use their calendar, things are really picking up. It's picking up. Yeah, The Punisher, a show might have been long. A movie probably would have been a little too much. Just right is these special presentations. And I do think The Punisher is probably one of the better, more well-known characters that probably is special presentation worthy, right? I don't think you're going to get
especially after you did 2 seasons of a show. It's like,
yeah,
how much do you want to go back to the and I know I'm sure Punisher fans out there screaming at us, there's so much more material they could tackle. We got two seasons worth, and he's been in Daredevil for a few seasons. You need something to bridge the gap between where was he during Daredevil and before Spider-Man.
I don't want to fuck with Punisher fans. Actually, we need to figure out a way to do like a false flag and piss off the Punisher fans towards the you-know-who fans, and that'll get those people real quiet, real quick.
And Punisher fans are also like, you have to split them into two factions of Punisher fans and fans of the Punisher logo, as we were shown in Daredevil Born Again last season. Like, there definitely are two, it's a crossroads, and you have to decide which direction you're going in. But John Bernthal is he's the perfect Frank Castle. He really is. I can't unsee him as Frank Castle. I can't see anyone else in the role at this point. Even just seeing him with the fucking beard when he comes out at the end and he's got the drawn on Punisher skull looking better than ever, that crisp white. I just wish he had the white boots and the white gloves. The comic book fan in me is like, give him the white gloves one of these days.
You think they'd ever? Yeah, they'll do that at some point if they get
maybe in Spider-Man.
Work, yeah.
This is going to be dark. This is going to be heavy, but Spider-Man is where he's a little lighter. Maybe cracking some jokes with that old insect. He'll call him something like that, right?
Yeah. Bug, right? That Thanos calls him Bug in or he says insect in Infinity War.
Let's start getting into these shows because there's a lot to recap. The first of which being Daredevil Born Again Season 2, Episode 4, an episode that was very hyped up. A friend of the program, Liam Crowley, hit me up a few weeks ago. He's like, Episode 4 is legit, stepping on the gas. And we have been talking about what mile per hour they're getting up to. Clem, there were moments in Episode 4 where they're hitting 90 this week. This was like the intro and the ending. Everything in between was very good as well. But you get the intro of Bullseye in the diner. And throwing lobsters into people's eye sockets. He's throwing knives at everyone that can see. He's ordering a banana milkshake. Get a little whip. Who doesn't want whip? All of that. And then the ending was, we'll get into that when we get into it, but it was jaw-dropping.
Bob, how the fuck are you going to yada yada over the biggest part? We got Billy. Billy Joel playing over it all too. New York State of Mind. It was beautiful. Bel Air Diner. Shout out my Astoria people. We're going to the Bel Air Diner. Any kind of New York diner. Just a beautiful thing. And like that waitress, that felt like a legit. She might be a legitimate waitress. They just pulled her out and said, "You want to be in an MCU show, honey?" They called her Honey probably, and she said, "Fuck yeah, I do." A little bit of whip. This is called whipped cream. Calls it whip. I loved everything about it. The lobsters. I was even realizing he was processing her, and I got the forks, I got the knives, I got lobsters. I didn't realize he was scoping the place essentially.
A toothpick and a straw, right?
Yeah,
he uses that at one point. I was like, what the fuck?
All right. This is tough. This is fucking tough. It's not as tough for me as it would be for other people, though. The diehard, the people who watch the first few seasons of Daredevil and all that stuff. Forgive me, Foggy. And I called out Karen last week. I think I might be a Bullseye guy.
I know, me too, dude. And I was there for Foggy for 3 seasons. Like, I saw it all. I fell in love with that guy. But oh my God, it's every time Bullseye's been on screen, it's electric. Like every time this guy's on screen, even the blue Marvel logo in the beginning, I was like, oh, blue Marvel logo. Like, I'm into it.
They got you hooked.
The ketchup Bullseye? Come on.
The ketchup Bullseye. He treats the cat good. The neighbor likes him. He's super nice. Just everything
about
one of
the good guys.
And you know what, Bob? I like my my good guys with a little bit of dirt on their soul. This guy plays the anti-hero, and I'm looking for an anti-hero right now. I was going to say ever since Thanos lost, I was pretty sure most people say he wasn't an anti-hero. He was very much a big bad villain that did a very bad thing to gazillions of living organisms in the universe. But man, and again, you have to understand, I really like Billy Joel. So like the fact they gave him that soundtrack, it really just hit. And for that scene with that song, it was art. It was fucking artwork.
That was perfect. Balls actually texted me, our friend Glennie Balls,
earlier this week. I loved it.
And he was like, how about you? Well, he hasn't seen it yet. He's, how about you point me in the direction? Do I have to start with this show? Do I start with the original show? So I gave him the run of the land. You could watch the original. You don't have to watch the Defenders. You could watch a recap of that. Like, I was trying to walk him through how to do it. And he's like, all right, I think I might dive in soon. And then this week began with Billy Joel. And I was like, okay, he has to dive in now. Like, this is perfect.
Just tell him, dive in with that. That's that episode, that scene. Yeah. Just dive in. We'll figure out, like, you'll explain the rest to him. But if he dives in there, he might become a bigger Daredevil.
It's like Tarantino style. We'll go back. Yeah.
Exactly. Goldfinger will be the second biggest Daredevil guy, Barstool adjacent or related compared to the Balls, man. So that was, I might go rewatch it. I haven't rewatched it since the first time I saw it, but the Lobsters was so fucking good. Just so good.
Crazy.
I'll tell you, man, Billy Joel with the superhero stuff, it got me kind of like reminiscent about the first season of The Boys. That was one of my favorite things they did. Every single episode was ended with that Billy Joel.
With the Huey stuff. Yeah. We get Karen recording testimonials for everyone. Duquesne leaves, but he tells Daredevil, you're like hope for the entire city, and you've got my credit card whenever you need my credit card. So it's like, oh, now the Resistance is funded. We got that Duquesne money that he didn't want to give to Kingpin.
That is fucking huge. We, once Tony Stark, our PR dog, Tony Stark, once he left, it's like the bankroll was drying up for all these heroes. Yeah. Who was the one that was like damn near like begging for money? I think it was it Hawkeye? Was it Sam? That's right.
Sam when he tried to get a loan for his boat. They were going to have to sell the boat. And it's like, he just saved the world. And he has to get a loan for the boat? Come on, man. Let him keep the boat.
So swordsman's our sugar daddy. That is a beautiful thing to know about. And the line, too, about being hope, having hope. That was being the hope for the city was very cool.
That was great. Great casting. I still love that guy that's playing swordsman right now. Angela offers to take the SD card. She does the whole cross off where she gives it to a food truck guy. Later on in the episode, he slips it into BB's pocket. I thought that was really cool. Just a good subtle little string throughout the episode of the Resistance work, and almost Andor-esque. They were doing shit like that in Andor. I feel like I have friends in many places. They were hitting those with an NSD card. He hears a heartbeat. It's kind of a red herring. It's Christophe who finally comes back. And I like early on, we already got like a little hint towards maybe the fight's going to go wrong. When Kingpin and Vanessa are there, Vanessa's staying strapped at this point because she's terrified of Bullseye. And he's like, I don't want you to come to the fight. I was like, oh no, something bad is going to happen at that fight, isn't it? Did you pick it up right away too?
I did not. And then as soon as he said, "I told you not to come," I said, "Oh, this ain't gonna be good."
So they realize the fight is sort of a trap for Matt and Bullseye, and Karen needs to figure out how to get Kirsten to take his statement, the Christolfi statement and everything. The fight's also at Fogwell's, yes, which goes back to there's a history with Matt's dad fought there. Matt also has had sex in that ring. So everyone is saying, like, listen, spoilers for the end of the episode. Is Vanessa dead in the spot where like Matt had his first nut? Like,
we need a test for DNA. See who killed this woman.
Yeah.
It was Matt Murdock.
Matt's like, don't bring in a black light. And they're like, why does the blind guy care? The AVTF bursts into Kristen's place, just absolute dickheads. The way they go about everything, it was like they burst in just to throw papers in the air. Get this out of here. Get this out of here. There's a paper on the floor. Get this out of here.
And dude, picking up papers is the worst. Paper, and then you're like, why are we even using this much paper in a digital society we live in? Yeah, just it's like I feel like there was like a Chappelle show skit where they really go when he shoots the dog and his wife put a titty in my hands and stuff like that. It's like they're just going over the top with it. You said it perfectly. Dickheads, just dickhead.
Such dickheads. And then we get your boy, Mr. Charles. After not seeing him in episode 2 or episode 3, he shows up here talking about wombat shit being cubed. And he's like, it's so weird that wombat shit is cubed. He's dropping fun facts out of nowhere. He does not really he's not break bread with Kingpin here. It's not a friendly interaction here. Kingpin is like, I do not appreciate being mocked. Do not mock me. He's starting to get fed up with him. Buck comes in when Mr. Charles brings in 2 armed guards. And as soon as they drop their weapons, Buck, boom, boom, John Wick style fucking shoots both of them. Mr. Charles didn't seem really concerned. And Kingpin tells him, you got to practice patience, Charles. What is this leading to, we think? I like Mr. Charles. I liked this scene. I like how he's still dominating Kingpin at every turn. But I'm like, what could this possibly lead to? Why is he connected to Valentina somehow? Is he somehow using illegal activity to help fund the new Avengers, the Thunderbolts? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I have to admit, I was like, in my notes, I was like, Mr. Charles is cooking this guy. Kingpin's on the ropes. And then the bullets started flying. And I was like, shit. And where I think Kingpin's character goes in the coming episodes, our boy Charles, I don't think he's going to be winning many of these fights. He still has the silver tongue, but I'm telling you, the mayor has to play by rules and he has to be political. The Kingpin can do whatever the fuck he wants, and I feel like we're going towards that. My boy kind of had to he kind of got he lost the round. I'll go boxing terms. He lost the round there. He was looking real good. He was talking about Legos and Lego shit. And I'm like, oh yeah, like Charles just beating the shit out of this guy. And then Buck turned the tables on him. That was tough as a Charles fan. I think in the end of this season, we'll discuss where we think it goes from there. But I think Mr. Charles is going to end up becoming an enemy. That is going to be a big reason the stuff unravels for our boy Fisk, because he has, the Washington or whatever the fuck behind him. And it's kind of like in Stranger Things where not only are we fighting against the Upside Down, but we also got to face the military. He's going to be like the military part of this equation, where the vigilantes are going to be the other part of the equation.
So call it right now, April 9th. Does Mr. Charles survive the finale? Will he make it to a potential season 3?
He's making it past, but he doesn't have he's not going to have the upper hand anymore. And I think he'll realize that pretty quickly.
Yeah. Because even when he loses the round here, and you're correct, I would say he lost the round. He didn't seem concerned about losing the round. No. He wasn't worried. He wasn't like, oh my God, my cardio is going. He was like, but we got to start the next round on our feet again.
What is that stupid fucking meme? His cortisol level or whatever. In terms of nerves, I'm a 6'7", right? His cortisol isn't shot, and he was aura mogged by fucking
stupid
ass by Buck.
Fisk actually got aura mogged by Charles.
Yes, in the end. This is the thing about Mr. Charles. You cannot introduce us to a character who casually dunks his phone in the whiskey he was just drinking and then kill him by the end of the season. That's too much of a fall from grace. It's like when you plunge in like a plane and you're like, what the fuck was that? We just went down like 10,000 feet. Not cool. You can't do that to my guy, Mr. Charles. So Mr. Charles is done by the end of the season. I might be done by the end of the season. What do you think of that, Disney? Go woke, go broke, Disney.
Vanessa goes to meet with the governor, and the governor, I didn't realize last week, is Lily Taylor, who was a pretty famous actress throughout the 80s, 90s. She was in Mystic Pizza. She's in a bunch of like older stuff. But I was like, she looks familiar. And then when I looked it up, she's been in a bunch. So cool casting, cool to get like a actress that's been in a ton to play a leading role that gets to kind of put her foot down over Kingpin every now and then about Red Hook and whatnot. Matt goes into a diner undercover as an AFTV agent. I loved this scene where he goes in and he's like, no, I got the jurisdiction. Get out of here. He's wearing the sunglasses. He's just ordering them around and shit. He finds the token that was left for him. So he brings the token into the church. We see some flashbacks of the original show. I liked that. Once again, they changed the aspect ratio for flashbacks and different scenes like that. They play around with it. And the priest tells Matt about Bullseye, about Poindexter without, fully, he's not, snitches get stitches, but he's pretty much telling him about him.
Didn't love the coin. Did not love the coin. Just going to leave it at that.
What'd you not love about it?
I didn't love the blind guy finding the coin under the rubble at a murder scene.
Oh, the way he flipped it over was crazy. It wasn't like he was like, oh, this could be a coin. It was like he knew where to look. It was an Easter egg hunt that he planted the eggs himself. I'm totally in agreement with it. And I know, sonar, I know he sees like Batman, whatever. I know, we know. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. That's all I'm going to say about
it. It doesn't ruin anything for me. No. It just, in my mind, I can't get past it without going, that's a little ridiculous. Even like, I rewatched 2 and 3 right before we watched 4 because Lady Fox was behind. She hadn't seen him. She wanted to watch 4 as it came out. And I wanted to as well. I was like pushing it. I was like, how about we watch 2 and 3 now? And as we were watching 3 and he's, going through the area where Kirsten was led just based on sounds. She's like, do you think she said like, I just heard doves and he knew that meant to take a left? I was like, yes, honey, that's what it meant. We got to get past that. Okay.
Again, the women followed by the like all the stuff going like addresses and whatever, followed by the coin is almost like the Stevie Wonder catching the microphone.
Yeah,
it's like he's not beating the seeing ability.
Yeah, even the paintings, the Muse paintings. He's like, "Ooh, good artwork." It's like, how do you know?
The greatest trick the Daredevil ever pulled was convincing people he's blind.
Truly. Daredevil and Bullseye get into it. They fight. Daredevil shows up at his apartment. They get into this fight with a fucking CD. I thought that was cool. Throwing CDs at each other, CD into the wall. Daredevil drop kicks him into the CD after that. Loved it.
Okay. So I'm with you. It was a cool fight. I was like, wait a minute. I was going to rewind, but I was like, I think this time I'm going to have to watch a commercial again. I'm all confused with all the commercial. Why the fuck does he have a CD?
I don't know. Maybe he's just a weirdo. I mean, I got CDs in my car. Maybe he's just like me.
See, this is the weird thing. You know who would make more sense if they had CDs? Would be Daredevil. Because he could feel the CD be like, all right, this is like my Dr. Dre album. This is my Oasis album. Because you feel the covers. You can't do an MP3 player. You'd have to use like Siri or whatever to play your MP3s, which I guess is the easiest way to do it now, accessibility-wise, for the disabled. However, the CD, I'm like, wait, why the fuck does he have CDs in 2026?
I'll tell you why he had a CD. Thought. So they could incorporate it into this fight scene when they thought of the choreography.
And that's what I said. I said, you know what? That was a good enough fight scene. I will suspend belief for the CD thing. Again, not trying to nitpick, but it was just a thought that went through my head.
Yeah.
As an unk here, my kids be like, what the fuck is that thing he's throwing around? Be like, kids, take a seat right here. That's called a compact disc.
He grabs his neighbor hostage. He's screaming, one good deed. It's all it takes. I can do one good deed and reverse it all. Daredevil immediately realizes what this means. He's like, you cannot make a martyr out of fucking Fisk, which was also a great, like, it shouldn't be, we got to kill this guy at any cost. It's like, no, if you kill him, he's going to become the fucking city's martyr. And then we're, back into, vigilantes kill him. And it just makes everything worse. So I thought that whole exchange was good. And then eventually, he of course gets out.
I just was so mad. I was so mad because the neighbor, I felt like we were in a good place with being a new discovered bullseye guy, and then he does the stuff to the neighbor who was like probably the biggest bullseye guy in the world. Even though she didn't know
she was like, "My boy, what are you doing to my boy?"
She was riding or dying for him. I appreciated that. Also, when he says I'm one of the good guys and he had that smile, I was like, I'm sold. I think I'm sold. Yeah. And this one kind of unraveled a bunch of that. What, then Bob? What if we saw the knife collection and we saw the etchings?
That would have been great. If we saw them all lined up, like BRB, all the old AIM things.
Maybe he had like Billy Joel songs, like The Stranger.
Yeah, it was his away song. Like if he's not going to be there, he'll throw a knife in, and that's his away message. I just noted when we're seeing the like testimonials or whatever, the confessions from Christophe, the way he says the Kingpin sounded so cool in his accent. That and the way he said so much cooler in his accent. He sounded awesome. We see Daniel brings BB to the fight, and I loved this whole exchange where he's kind of like ringside passes. He's trying to flex on her. It's a date. She's like, it's not a date. He's like, we'll see about that. She's getting the SD card slipped to him. He's giving her that weird look where it's like, does he know something just happened? Does he not know? And I loved him going in and buying all the merch right away. He's got the hat. He's got the towel. This is going to be me and like Mandalorian and Grogu when I sit down. I'm going to have all the fucking things.
It doesn't even know about the employee discount code. So we paid full price.
That too, yeah. He's like, oh, no, I didn't know that.
That was great.
That's us on Black Friday with Barstool. We're like, we'll buy our own stuff to show the boss that we love him.
Yep, exactly. That had me really creeped out, though. I thought he sniffed out the SD card going in the pocket. So I'm guessing he didn't, though, because it seemed they.
I am too, but they left it open where if next episode he's like, and I saw that motherfucker, would be like, oh, of course he did. Can't believe he thought we slipped that past him.
He has her on the sus list right now. He has her on the love list and the sus list. And when those two lists have the same person, it's a fucking mind fuck. So that could be like a point against her. I'm going to keep that in mind, which by the end of the season could lead to a confrontation, we'll say.
What did you think about Mayor Kingpin's nickname leading out to the ring? Wilson Wildcard Fisk. I thought that was pretty good. The whole entrance, the all white he had on, like everything about this boxing scene, I fucking loved. Also, charity boxing is like a thing that politicians actually do. Now, it's not the most common thing, but like politicians have done this. I looked it up. Mitt Romney did like a famous like charity boxing match, I think in 2012 when he was going up for president. So like, I thought that was like a fun way to loop in something that does happen in real life, but obviously make it way over the top and comic booky.
See, I don't remember the politician fights. I do remember the celebrity boxing run that we had, and it ended with fights that were so bad that it like might have killed the political boxing for fun and charity, and then the celebrity boxing things. Like I know Screech from Saved by the Bell and
Tanya Harding, famously.
Yes. And we did hit a level where it's like people who should not be boxing were boxing. And it's just, and now we got the Jake Paul fights have kind of replaced that in a weird, crazy way. Right. So I actually kind of love it. Now I'm going to take us on a little bit of a left-hand turn here. The most ridiculous thing that we used to do for fundraising at like my school district is something I thought was very common. And then when I told KFC about it, it almost exploded his brain when I first started at Barstool. Did you ever have donkey basketball in your,
No.
So
never heard of this.
At my school, which I'm in the burbs, so we always say Winterfell, but I'm like an hour to the city, a little more, an hour in terms of driving without traffic. We had donkey basketball. And what it would be like the high school teachers would play against each other, but they have to ride on donkeys. And this is the thing, my friend. A donkey doesn't listen to you when you say go this way. So you're riding on the donkey.
A real donkey?
A legit living donkeys, 5-on-5. 10 donkeys on the court.
You had 10 donkeys on the basketball? Get the fuck out of here.
10 donkeys on the basketball court, and you're going, you get the ball, right? You get the rebound. You throw it to your teammate. His donkey just starts going towards the wrong basket because it's a donkey. Bob, and what's the worst thing that a donkey could do?
Shit.
And you know what the donkeys did during donkey basketball sometimes?
Shit on the court.
And who has to clean it up?
This is crazy. I thought when you said everyone's on donkeys, I figured like, the little like poles that have a horse head on it. I thought it was like, oh, when we play Quidditch, you have to be holding on to the broom or something. You're telling me 10? I'm sure like PETA wouldn't allow this or whatever nowadays. How is this not a pro sport? donkey basketball, so it's awesome.
It's awesome. And I was blogging something when I first started, and KFC's like, "You fucking have seen this before?" I was like, "Yeah, it was awesome."
I think this is going to blow minds on the podcast because
Yes.
it's blowing my mind right now.
I hope so. Donkey boxing. Maybe we have two people boxing. They have to be on donkeys. That's like the evolution for this. But then donkey punch is a whole other thing. We don't want to go down that territory. That was an older, I don't know. That's an Urban Dictionary thing. I don't know if that's still around these days. That's thrown around that term. But man, yeah, donkey basketball. Again, you and anyone listening, YouTube it. I'm sure there's some old clips. I think actually, I could be wrong. Actually, no, they probably just played regular basketball. But I think there was a time when the New York Giants played. It was like, I remember Howard Cross was one of the players. But I think they played regular basketball. But there was a chance the New York Giants were playing donkey basketball in my gym against like the local teachers. And that's a no-brainer. It's like charity, charge whatever you want for the ticket. I'm going to watch.
Yeah, $100. I'm in.
The only thing better would be if the donkeys actually knew how to play. Yeah, exactly. It's going towards books. It's all good. It's going towards the school. So shout out donkey basketball. That was this political boxing. If that dies, donkey basketball should come back. I mean, we're living in a world now where I don't think PETA has the handle it did maybe 15, 20 years ago. No. Right? I think we've gotten a little more rough around the edges
now.
Yeah,
you get like fake blood thrown on you, but that's the extent of the protest usually.
You want to bring that shit to a donkey basketball game? I'm telling you, that crowd is coming for you for real blood. Don't you do that at a donkey basketball game?
And most, I would say, all like politician charity boxing matches are like glorified sparring matches. I think the Mitt Romney one was Mitt Romney versus Evander Holyfield, and it was like again, it's like. It's pitter patter. You're not really like, there's not a real punch thrown in the entire fight. There's not a fraction of a real punch thrown in the fight.
Bob,
Kingpin, real.
When you said he fought Mitt Romney fought in a fight, I'm thinking he's fighting like a cabinet member or a friend or maybe a rival, but it's a friendly political rival. Evander Holyfield. So yeah, I mean this is a farce. It's an exhibition.
That's what they all should be. Now, they said this guy that Kingpin was fighting was a real heavyweight. They didn't make him out to be like a heavyweight champion or anything like that. But he comes out and starts fucking this guy up for real right away, which I took as like, I didn't think the crowd would expect that either. Like they were cheering for him and going crazy for him when he's landing fucking body shots and stuff. But I think we were also supposed to be like, wait, he's really fighting? And this is maybe the city seeing like, oh, this guy could actually fuck people up. And he's fucking him up until Vanessa walks in. Vanessa. And he sees her in the crowd, hesitates, gets hit with his first shot, and then it's like, okay, game over. I thought he was going to kill him in the ring. It was like, oh my God. And they end up taking a stretcher and bringing him out via stretcher. He didn't seem concerned either. People in the crowd are kind of like, oh my God, that was scary. Kingpin's just like, ha, 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 ha. He's like a boss in a video game.
It's kind of like with the trainer. We're like, did he fucking kill that guy?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with the sparring partner. I was like, wait, did he fucking kill him like Butch in Pulp Fiction? And I'm going to say no. Because I think they would have said something about it, and I don't think it's going to really bat an eyelash from what's coming in the future episodes. So if the fact it wasn't announced, I'll say no. I also was like, because the way he was fighting the opponent, I was like, did they give him the Maximus? Like they poisoned him already, and he really can't fight, and he's got to just like. But when he got hit, he's like, "Are you fucking serious right now, bro?"
Yeah.
Like, all right. Then he turned on the heavyweight, and that guy was really fighting, but. Ask Kingpin if he's on the juice. He loves talking to his fans. Syringe. That's what I was thinking of when I was watching Fitz just get down with it.
And I like that they gave him like a cheesy looking title belt. It was just like a big plate, like he raises it at the end. Bullseye then comes in and chaos unfolds immediately. Starts killing all the anti-vigilante task force agents with knives, throwing the knives at every one of their eye sockets. He gets shot by Vanessa, but not before he throws that glass Kingpin statue. Kingpin just smashes it with the title belt, and we like move on. Oh, I guess that missed. Keeps going. Daredevil comes in with the fucking Bobby sticks, as I called them last week, the Billy clubs for the save. They go through the window, fucking rappelling through it. I remember seeing them crashing through the window like as a set video. Very cool to see what the context is about a year later. And then we cut to Vanessa and Clem. She did not go unscathed. She took some shrapnel to the fucking temple from the glass Kingpin statue. So poetic. She's wearing all white as well. And in the original show, Kingpin had that white painting that he loved so much. That Daredevil ruined with blood. It's just a splatter of blood on this white painting. Very much looked like Vanessa personified that painting. And it ends with Vanessa probably dead in the ring. I think she's either dead or she's going to be possibly like a vegetable for the rest of the season. I don't know if they want to go like a penguin type route with it. I don't think she's okay. I think, whatever okay may mean, I don't think she's ever going to be like talking to Kingpin and walking around with him and going to galas with him. I think she's dead. I'm putting my money on she's dead. But whatever it is going to unleash, the Kingpin that isn't going to put up with Mr. Charles shit for much longer.
Yeah, we're gonna list her. We're gonna list her as like in football when they say he's out for the rest of the game. She's out for the rest of the game. And you know what? If you have her in fantasy, we're gonna put an O. You could put her on the IR if you have a slot available. I'm not expecting much from Vanessa the rest of the season. If ever, I'd say 90% chance dead, because I think so, where they want to take this story, her being in like a vegetative state doesn't have the same oomph for it. And I think she's cooked, which like, again, this is a fucked up thing to say, but like he probably like saved a bunch of lives by doing that in a crazy way, because she was doing very bad things as well. But and
also, how do they spin this now with Daredevil coming in and taking Bullseye out? Are they going to say that they attacked together? Like, how much footage of this is getting out? What does the public know? Is it Daredevil and Bullseye attacked us and they escaped? Is it Daredevil saved Bullseye, so he's still an enemy? Like, how does he play the vigilante angle if Daredevil kind of tried to stop what Bullseye was doing? You know what I mean? I assume the public isn't going to know much.
I'm going to tell you they are going to edit that video to spin it as vigilantes are at war, killed by sweet Vanessa. So that is going to be an absolute problem. Our boy Kingpin, I can't get this mental visual out of my head because he has the bald head. He's going to be unhinged like when the first time you encounter a chain chomp in Mario and goes, har, 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 har. That is going to be Fisk. He is going to be a chain chomp. Off the chain, though, when it comes off the chain and it just keeps chasing you and you have to basically jump on its head, it's the only way you're going to kill it. Daredevil's going to have to jump on Kingpin's head because this is going to be a problem. I believe that Kingpin, looking back now, when people are saying how this season hits the gas and it gets crazy and this and that, I think Kingpin, Vanessa dying in front of Kingpin, the governor, as we said, is now taken off the car. Speed is not limited anymore because this is what we needed. We need, and they've alluded to, they never said it. The guy said it. He never said it in English, the Kingpin. We don't need Mayor Fisk. Mayor Fisk has a ceiling that he cannot hit in terms of being crazy. He has to do stuff in the shadows. Kingpin is gonna fuck shit up. So I am excited to see what Kingpin is going to do now that Vanessa is dead. I don't think it's going to be good things for our vigilantes, but oh baby, business is about to pick. This is like the pay-per-view ends on a big cliffhanger and you're like, Raw is going to be sick tomorrow.
You're like, wait, we have Raw tomorrow? Like, this keeps going? Like, we're only halfway through the season and this is how they're doing us? Like, this is going to get fucking crazy. And I think we've seen almost all of the footage from the trailers so far.
Oh, nice. That's good. Because I like that, because that's like, all right, that's stuff we gave you for free. Now the good stuff, we're saving that, behind it. And I read this somewhere. I don't know if it's true or if you heard it. I believe they said the next episode was potentially Emmy worthy. Is that true?
I saw a tweet about that. Yeah, I saw a tweet about that. And some people speculating that next episode had flashbacks. We know Foggy was cast in this season. They weren't hiding like, oh yeah, we cast Foggy. So I think there's a chance the next episode is going to be some sort of flashback that shows more Foggy stuff.
Okay. So, I mean,
maybe that's like Matt runs out with Bullseye. Maybe they bring Bullseye back to the fucking lair and it's like them trying to come to grips with, are we working with this guy right now? And you do the Foggy flashbacks like that. I could see that.
Oh, I could see that. That would make sense. I do think we probably hit 90 at some point in this episode, right? And then we stayed pretty fast the whole time, changing gears. And then you hit that one where it goes, where you're like, oh shit, that is fast. We went very fast.
The end in the beginning might have hit 90. In the beginning, I put on in my notes like the call of Punisher's here and he's fucking, at the diner. You got to get here quick. Send your agents. That was like when you want to get 5 stars in GTA just to see what you could do. Like, let me see if I can fucking go off. Let's get 5 stars and see how many cops roll up here.
That's a good way to put it.
They need a Bullseye mod in the next GTA. I want to play
Yes.
Bullseye with the knives and the lobsters.
Oh, I'm sick. What did Trent used to call it? Get my stars up. GTA, get my stars.
Yeah.
You want to get those stars up.
All right, before we get into Invincible and the boys, let's talk about a sponsor here in My Mom's Basement. It's been a few weeks, but we've got a great sponsor, and that is the new movie Normal. From the creator of John Wick and Nobody comes the new movie Normal, a double-barreled shotgun blast of pure mayhem. One of our favorites here in the basement.
Mhm.
Bob Odenkirk stars as Chef Ulysses. New job as a temporary agent in the quaint town of Normal, Minnesota. It was meant to be a welcome respite. Is that how you say it? Respite?
Yes, respite.
A welcome respite from recent troubles. But when a botched bank robbery interrupts the peace, a dark secret is exposed, and Ulysses discovers that the town of Normal is anything but. Directed by Ben Wheatley and starring Bob Odenkirk, Henry Winkler, the Fonz, and Lena Headey. I think it's just Headey.
Cersei. We call her Cersei in this house.
Cersei, exactly. One of our favorites as well. See it only in theaters April 17th. This looks really good, legitimately. It's like a neo-Western action thriller. I love all of those things. I love all the people involved. I'll definitely be seeing this, and I appreciate that they came to the basement knowing that the basement boys and girls out there are probably their target audience.
Guys, support the basement, support the movie. That's simple. I'm going to keep it simple for you guys. Support the basement, support the movie. And listen, you can't get there actors in this world. There's not a lot than those three that can give you a visceral response in your soul. And they are very different responses. You see Bob Odenkirk, you feel one thing. You see Henry Winkler, you think another. You see Cersei Lannister, you think another. And they are very just strong feelings. And the fact they're all together in this movie. And I do like a normal Minnesota, like it's like another favorite of the basement, another favorite show of the basement, Fargo, right? It's like we're going to Fargo and things are going to go awry, if you may. That's my word. Respite was your word. Mine's awry. So if they want to change the copy awry, I've given them privilege to use that. I'm excited. Again, Bob Odenkirk. I have triples of the Phantom. I have triples of the. That's one of my favorites.
Odenkirk never steers me wrong. Henry Winkler, always one of my favorites. Saw him in Grand Central once. Came back. I told Trent. Trent didn't believe me. I was like, I just saw Henry Winkler. He's like, no, you didn't. I was like, you're not going to believe. Why would I make that up? Exactly.
This fucking guy Trent. I got a real bone to pick with him. A real bone to pick with him.
I actually went into, when you get announced, like if you're in a bridal party or groom's party for my brother's wedding when I was like 14, they were like, and here's the best man in the maid of honor. And we walked in. I walked in and went, hey. I did a little Henry Winkler Fonz on him. I hit him with the Fonz. Again, April 17th, only in theaters. You could get your tickets now at normalthemovie.com.
Week away. Easy peasy.
Week away. And we've got Invincible now, season 4, episode 6 to talk about. This is a fun episode. I don't want to call it a filler episode. I went at it with the Invincible fans on Twitter this week because, as we mentioned, the Hell episode is the lowest rated Invincible episode with only a 6.7. It's honestly like a pretty decent ranking for your worst ever in series history.
Definitely.
But I just tweeted like, it doesn't sit right with me that the metal ass Hell episode with Bruce Campbell, Satan, is so low. Basically just a throwaway tweet, but people were angry. They were saying it's hell propaganda, devil propaganda, Satan this, Satan that. Apparently there was some review bombing from maybe the Christians over that one. I don't know, but I immediately muted that conversation. I was like, okay, I was just talking about the Invincible episode, guys. I don't want the rest of this that came along with it.
Bob, my brother, you were not fighting Invincible fans there. You were fighting religious.
I didn't realize that.
Nuts. So
I Leroy Jenkins into the room and didn't realize what I was up against. But that was a filler episode for sure. This is less of a filler episode, but it's a side quest type episode.
It's a setup. We'll say setup episode.
Yeah.
Which used to be a nice way to say filler, but it's definitely not filler, but it's a setup because I don't think you probably get from point A to where they were after the last awesome episode, which I believe was second highest in the show's history.
Yeah, it was like 9.8, 9.7 or something. I think the highest is last season's finale was 9.9. Pretty sure. Okay.
To get from where we were in 9.8 to where they're going to end up, which will probably be somewhere in the 9s, I do think you needed an episode like this, a bridge. It's like kind of like a bridge quarterback. It's like you can't just keep drafting all, superstars. The Jets have like 17 bridge quarterbacks. You don't want to have all bridge quarterbacks or else your show won't survive. This was a bridge episode and it got us there. It did just fine. I go based on the amount of notes I had. My notes for the Hell episode was like too. Like, all right, this is a lot of hell. The fall bit was pretty funny. That was based on what the fuck happened with this Egyptian stuff. I guarantee those people on Twitter probably just search hell and then just hit you with
replies,
some sort of religious stuff. And then the other bots or people are just keep it going to, share their point of views with you, we'll say.
Yeah. We get the Thaddeus and Thrag preparing for war in the beginning of the episode. Immediately, my note, you might predict it already, too much 3D animation for me. When they went to ships and they're all taking off like that, I was like, too much, but okay, I'll let it slide. And then this episode just does a lot for Omni-Man and Oliver, their relationship, them having to be on this planet for months, a couple months with Mark, waiting for him to wake up. They're feeding him the gross bug food that Oliver's squeezing into his mouth. He's refusing to eat it first. I liked the fight over the burial, giving Conquest a burial. Oliver's like, what the fuck? Why should we do this? They hate this guy almost as much as they hate you. Another good line. He was hitting his dad with some fucking good lines and hitting his dad with truths when he's like, yeah, I heard you say you didn't love my mom and then you came back and all you wanted to see was my brother. I'm wearing your symbol here. I'm trying to be your son. All of that just felt real in this weird world where there's aliens on another planet killing bugs and we shouldn't kill some bugs. We should be cool. And Oliver's talking about the tingly feelings lobster gets him. A lot of lobster this week in the basement.
Not a lobster
week. All of these weird things. But then you have a conversation like that and it's like, oh, that's a conversation between a father and a son. That's pretty legit.
It was not, and I've never really been an Oliver fan. I don't know how people feel about him in the books or in the show, but I've never really been about it. But it did kind of build his character out. Again, him being half bug, him kind of being attracted to lobsters, kind of checks out. I thought that was pretty funny. It was definitely weird though. Also, like you said, Omni-Man's beard, aura to that beard for sure with the
so awesome colors. Omni-Man's beard awesome. Mark's beard less awesome.
Oliver's quote unquote beard cute and
that was so funny. The cut to the stubble was great. The real just you hold on it. That was really funny.
But that's just good old fashioned male bonding where it's the younger one. It's hey man, he got some, got some whiskers on him right now. Unfortunately I had a beard probably 5 years ago and I really liked it and I could manage it a little. Unfortunately, when I try to do it now, it looks patchy because I have white, just patches in the middle. Omni-Man getting the white uniform, which then goes into the black uniform, that is the dream right there for people as they age. I unfortunately do not have that. I also wanted to point this out I've noticed this a couple weeks ago, but the title card with Invincible, and every week it breaks down a little more.
Yeah.
Do you think that is our way of saying we're losing Mark as I feel like every week we're losing Mark as our hero, and
I like that thought.
Bad Mark as
it was good this week.
Anakin,
too.
He was good this week. Someone made a good point about this. The time this is the thing. It's been a time jump. It was a subtle time jump because we watched it, but they said 2 months it was going on.
Yeah,
our girl Eve is showing right now. And by the time this war is over, this baby might be born. And Mark might be coming home after whatever he experiences in war and either seeing a wife. It's like coming home from war and you hear about these stories about these military guys that come home, their girlfriend's pregnant. Now, in Mark's in his defense, clearly she had something to tell him. So it's not like this.
I don't know. She's I was trying.
And I'm sure the baby was come out of the womb flying or something, right?
Yeah.
But man, That's gonna be. It's kind of actually. She's probably gonna be very pregnant, and he's gonna be a war-hardened knight essentially, and she's gonna be the pregnant wife, maybe with twins.
Who knows? It's
And then what happens? What happens when the war-hardened knight sees his wife again with the twins, and maybe a best friend he thinks betrayed him? Bob, I'm telling you, it's lining us up.
Separate those babies.
They're gonna end up at a lava planet, right?
Yeah.
Who's the friend here? He doesn't really have friends like that.
Hell, back in hell, the lava planet.
Back in hell, we're going back to hell. God damn it! I think we just spoiled the end of Invincible for people.
I think they changed. I believe someone tweeted that in the comics he was out for 6 months, and in the show he's out for 2. I wonder if any of that is to line up with the pregnancy timeline.
The baby stuff.
If they're wanting to lean into that more, We get Zoe and Alan playing some video games together. Good little side story with them. They eventually go and meet him and Telia reunite, and him and Battle Beast reunite, and you get like that stuff going on. So it's not just a quote unquote camping episode with Omni-Man and Oliver. I liked all that stuff. There was a good like gearing up for war montage that was almost Dune-esque with Oliver, like almost riding a sandworm. The training sequences are all good. And he has that like when Mark is about to wake up and he realizes he's going to wake up in a few days, he has that moment of like, oh, but like we're having fun here. Like I finally have a dad. And I thought that was well played as well.
It's like when you're playing the tutorial thing of a game and you're like, I kind of don't want to go into the game right now. I just want to stay around and have fun.
This tutorial.
Crushing this tutorial. I can't lose. It's like, oh, stakes are going to get dialed up to another level. I'm interested to see how that all plays out too with Oliver and Omni-Man and obviously Mark too. But I feel like there's a chance that we could lose someone and how the other person reacts to that, let alone Mark. So, yeah.
Mark also didn't even realize that he killed Conquest. Like when he woke up, awesome. He was confused. He saw the graves. He thought it was his dad and Oliver. He saw 3 stones. He's like, what the fuck's happened? They're like, oh no, you killed him, dude. That was all good. And Mark is also, he's an aura farming a little bit with, the only place that his costume ripped was his abs. Come on, Mark.
Real convenient, Mark. Real convenient. Might be the place where the evil alien creature is trying to literally gut you, but real convenient, Mark. Real convenient,
Mark. We see you aura farming. Put those abs away. The Viltrumites attack. They're looking for the betrayer. Mark, Omni-Man, Oliver show up. And my note just says Mark's got the crop top on. They wind up doing the Captain Marvel to their ship, and then they have to prevent the ship from falling on the planet. I thought that was all cool, and the Viltrumites retreated from that. We find out that one of the fucking Data twins was the betrayer. The one Data twin finds out it was the other, realizes it was the other, put the planet's defenses down, and says the Viltrumites are still going to win because they're all regrouping right now. And then it's the betrayer who says, well, if we get to Thrag before all of the other Viltrumites get them there, we kill him. They're a snake without a head, a chicken without a head. They don't know which way to go. And they need to go to Viltrum, which is going to be sick. It's like cool that we've made it 4 seasons into the show. And it's like, we're doing it. We're doing the thing that we always said that would be the most terrifying, the worst thing you could possibly do. We're in the end game now. We have to do it. And then the post credits is like the scary zoom in on Conquest's grave to make you think he's coming back. And then they're like, nah, just kidding.
That was awesome.
So he is dead. We debated it last week. Is he dead? He's dead.
I did not think it was awesome when I thought he was popping out. And then when they did it, I was like, all right, good joke, guys. It's like when after the April Fool's joke, you realize it's an April Fool's, you're just relieved. That's how I felt with Conquest. Yeah. I'm going to give this one, like, this was, if say you're on the highway 55 speed limit, this was 55. We just stayed in the right lane and we were basically at 55 on the dot. Don't even want to give the cops a reason to pull us over. I'm not saying it was bad, but I'm not saying like anything great was done, had its moments, it was a necessary episode, I think, for the long run. That's where I stand on it.
Agreed. 100% in agreement there. 55, a good 55. I was fine with it.
And we're eating snacks too, because we're not driving too fast. Like everyone's happy when you're eating snacks.
Exactly. And then we move on to The Boys, the premiere of the final season of The Boys. We got 2 episodes and 2 good episodes. Again, we like everything we watched this week. We had a lot to watch. It's a tough job. We have to sit down and watch 4 hours of television. But I was happy with everything that we watched this week. I was like, that's a good first 2 episodes of The Boys. I'm back into the universe. I almost go into it with like, I don't want to say a negative, like, oh, we got to go watch The Boys. But I go into it more trepidatious than the rest. Like this could be really good. The reviews were really good. So I had my hopes up from that, but it's also the show that reminds us the most of real life and sometimes becomes a parody of what it's parodying with gore and whatnot with that. So you go in and go, I hope they don't go too far, but they rode that line really well through the first 2 episodes.
So I was having a tough time with that myself because you're getting hit over the head with it from the jump. And again, some of this stuff was written before now, but even some of the stuff that's happening now, you're like seeing, I'm like, man, I kind of like when I turn on TV and I don't feel like I'm watching real life. However, The Boys, I imagine, I love season 1. I love the way that they like mock the superhero stuff and all that and the corporate style. But that's kind of what probably life was like back then. It was forever ago, which is why it does seem like such a different world they were in. So it's probably just mirroring. Maybe I just
People are saying the world's come up to the boys.
Yes, exactly. Also, it's crazy that Prime between these two shows and then Company Retreat, the new Jury Duty, my Prime is number one on my streaming.
Spider Noir coming up.
And that's we got the thumbs up there.
Oh, they gave a thumbs up to Prime.
That never happens. Prime is just like a happy accident that I get it for free. I probably wouldn't even have had it if it didn't come with my Amazon Prime subscription. Mm-hmm. But right now it is doing some heavy lifting. And this is the thing about The Boys. I'm with you on that. But like The Boys highs.
Oh, great.
It's higher than
last season was very
Daredevil.
Good.
At its absolute best, I'd say The Boys was probably Invincible had some fucking unreal moments, and Daredevil obviously we really liked. But I think The Boys at its best, I couldn't wait to watch the next episode the most with The Boys.
Yeah. So season one of The Boys was like
yes,
unbelievable. But I will say, I feel like 2 and 3 weren't as good as 1, I don't think. And then I think 4 elevated things and started ramping things up into the final season here. I think they're not going to overstay their welcome too much. I know that there's a bunch of spinoffs, The Boys Mexico and stuff like that, but the actual main series, The Boys, Homelander, Butch, the fucking Huey, everyone, Frenchie, they're not going to overstay their welcome too much. They're ending at a good time. I think now's the time to let's start wrapping things up. Let's start cleaning up here. Like, you've stayed a good amount of time. It's also tough with the real life stuff when Daredevil's doing a lot of the same parallels. And I know it's not like an issue the boys should necessarily have to worry about, but like both shows have people being taken away from their parents by a tyrannical, government. And they're hitting a lot of the same things right now.
Yep. The notes are very similar. And I don't think you could watch those two things and be like, oh, completely different shows that have nothing to do with each other. And whether or not you think it's stuff in real life or not, that's beside the point. There are points where I was like, I feel like I just wrote this note for the Daredevil.
Yeah. People in cages.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Good times. A little pick me up here. I just looked it up too. I had to look it up. There's 8 episodes. So we're wrapping everything up at this point. Again, maybe they'll leave a couple loose ends that they tie in for other spinoffs. I also think they might kind of like pack in this world and focus on Bond and some of the other projects Amazon's working on, right? Like I don't think Gen V is definitely coming back, right? Like I don't think
I don't know if it is either. And I'm still curious. We've got little tiny hints of Gen V. They show like Godolphin.
They talk Marie Moreau.
They talk her, but like not a ton of Gen V inclusion so far, which is interesting because that show, and not that I necessarily expected it, that show very much ends with like, and we're going to kill Homelander. It's like, well, I think other people are going to do that, if we're being honest, Gen V. I think the people that have been around since season 1 are going to do that.
Murray, you're pretty cool. You have a cool power. You ain't wearing the title. You're not wearing the strap.
No.
You might get European Championship. I don't think you're getting even the Continental belt, to be honest with you, Murray.
Yeah. But honestly, a cool start with the Vought shareholders meeting, Annie in disguise, the fight with Black Noir, and we get Starlighters labeled terrorists. That was another thing where it's like, we're labeling vigilantes terrorists. We're labeling Starlighters terrorists. They're doing all that. Them airing the plane footage was cool. And then as soon as they air it, I turned to Lady Fox. She was like, how are they going to get out of this? They're going to call it AI. And in the next scene, they're like, and I don't have 7 fingers. And that's not like, is it the predictable thing to do? Yeah. Is it the right thing to do? Also, yeah, like it worked for this show for sure.
I'm kind of excited to see how this happens in real life. Like, what's the scandal in the next 2 weeks that people are going to blame AI for? Tune in to your favorite news outlet and find out that.
VP Barrett, Ashley talking about the freedom camps. It's Freedom Camp 47 too. They're very on the nose with that one. Homelander and Sage have a few conversations about announcing the execution of the French one, and Huey trying to draw the others out. There's the one guard just fucking slamming everyone with his dick. That's a bit much. All right. Well, big dick guy fucking slamming everyone with this big sausage hog. All right. Whatever.
I wrote like the beating with the guy with the dick. That is an example of when I say like the boys sometimes just like goes too far where it's like, yeah, like that was cool season 1. It's like, I've kind of just gotten like tired of it now. Like but I will say, like, there was stuff with the rock hard guy where I was like, oh, that was like a fun
it was funny. Yeah, it was creative.
It was creative.
Right.
Exactly. This being, and like, hey, if you want to be like, we're just going to literally beat the guys over the head with it, that's fine. Just not for me. again, it's not even like I've matured past it. It's like you've done it on the show, and with your spinoffs enough time, that could have probably been a Gen V kind of thing. So I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
One little subtle thing I liked, I didn't realize this at first. I thought they just had the American flag painted on their back. It's a Homelander cape on their back, all the prisoners. That was
I think that's cool. And the crew necks they're wearing with him on the front, looking happy and stuff. Like, I thought that was good. I like the scene where Frenchie saves, or reverse, Hugh saves Frenchie from getting shanked like early on, like the first time you see him.
The headphones
He's got the headphones on. Yeah, like I thought that was good. Mother's milk drinking the toilet water, gross. Real just disgusting. In the fucking in his infinity bucket, he's got his mug, uses it for everything. Butcher going to his dad, as they call it overseas. But that was fucking good conversation. I like seeing that. I like seeing everyone's heart rate rising around Homelander and him recognizing that and being like, why is everyone, I've been so good to these people, why are their hearts rising around me? Like, all of those little things I appreciated more than the over the topness even.
Yeah, and that goes to show you can, claim your stuff to the public about AI. A lot of people are seeing right through all the bullshit, right? They're just terrified of you because they saw you fuck with all these people on the plane. Also, again, comic brain, I'm in Daredevil heartbeat mode. I'm like, wait a minute. Did I just hear this going on when you tell people they're nervous? So I was Mr. Krabs for a minute there.
They're like blowing people up if they try to escape the camp. There's like a soup working for the guards that, will be in the watchtower and whatnot. Butcher goes, gets Kimiko. She's just talking this season, which is so weird. It's like strange to actually physically see this actress talking. It's very bizarre. And the way she's talking is funny too. She's using some like TikTok slang.
My vagina is damp and tingly. That was another one. That was
what a line. Yeah.
Oh, it's like, oh, now I'm ready, honey. Like she could speak like Siri and it would be less crazy to me. Just hearing her voice is like, this isn't you. This isn't real. What's going on right now?
The Deep is Andrew Tate now. He's got his own like Andrew Tate podcast about masculinity and how you don't need women and whatnot. Homelander, the Deep, Noir have that quick meeting. Soldier Boy is in the cryo tank and they show us him right away and we're like, all right, so I think he's coming up pretty soon. He very much is coming up soon. Love that Daveed Diggs is included in this season. He's the like preacher soup, and Daveed Diggs is most famous for Hamilton. He was the original Lafayette and Thomas Jefferson in Hamilton. And just the line that comes right after that first scene with him where they say Chapel Roan and Tyler the Creator have been arrested.
That's a great line. Great line.
The two names to pick for that were so funny.
The religious side is another part of the world, of the the country these days that has definitely risen to prominence and some stuff. And I was like, oh, so that's the new part of the boys that we're gonna get this season.
Like Drewski beat him to doing the Super Preacher skit. It was similar to that. Like I was like, oh damn, as soon as that skit went viral, they must have been like, fuck, he just beat us to the punch. They're making all the same jokes basically. Barrett for president has already been copyrighted. I liked that little subtle thing of like,
that was a great line.
Barrett for president. Starlight trying to get A-Train's help to break the boys out. He's resistant to it at first. He doesn't know whether or not he should help. And they find Worm, who's working on his Reacher spec script right now. They flash to a picture of Worm and Michael Bay, like he's like with the president almost, but it's Michael Bay shaking his hand. And the way he digs holes, just eating the dirt and then shitting it out, and it's literally a shithole. It's gross, but it's not too over the top in its grossness where I was like, okay, boys. I was like, it's fucking clever. I appreciate that every time.
I'm fine with just like a little bit of cleverness with the stuff. That stuff I was fine with as well, 100%. And the fact that the vice president, who, I mean, like for all the evil people we have in this series, is right up there. She's like, ever since she's like a little sniveling assistant all the way up. And now her, like, as we learn later on, her superpower is like she's psychic, but it's like another head, and it's like a conscience essentially she grew. Very, very funny. I thought that was very well done.
She's like I don't know if you've seen the first Harry Potter, the Sorcerer's Stone, but like Voldemort's like just on the back of a guy's head. Yeah. He wears like the turban, he takes it off at the end, and then it's Voldemort. Very much what she's got going on there. I like that Homelander was one step ahead of him. He's there. Obviously, we know he's one step ahead of him the whole episode, but tells Huey like, yeah, I've known about your whole fucking Shawshank escape plan here. Like, what are you talking about? You're not getting out like that. And Kimiko gets sliced in half as soon as they go up there. It's like, okay, Homelander not fucking around. Starlight comes in with a big save. You get Mother's Milk versus the Dick Guy. Homelander lures Butcher out. And then A-Train gets his Quicksilver sequence, which was awesome to see. Like, I love that Days of Future Past style. You just running up to people. They're still, you move a little thing, you move them out of the way. And he gets an awesome Quicksilver sequence because it's his final sequence. It's the end of A-Train. R.I.P. my dog, A-Train. Gets followed out by Homelander. Has to like move to not run through someone like episode 1. Full circle moment. He doesn't run through them anymore. He tries to sidestep him, throws himself into the woods, and then just gets fucking choked out by Homelander. But went out like a boss. Went out fucking spitting in the face of Homelander, saying, you're nothing. You're nothing behind that suit. R.I.P. my dog, though. Great character. And honestly, like, if we're doing this, it's the final season. Way to show us stakes matter. Nobody's safe. And wrap up his storyline well. Him just sidestepping is like full circle from episode 1.
That's all you could have asked for the first episode of a final season. A character that you've known and you hated when everything started.
Yeah.
Like, you might have hated him more than anybody because of the way everything happened with Huey's girlfriend, and kind of like got that whole side of Huey's arc started, obviously. And then seeing he literally complete 180. I was going to say, I think we have to give him an RIP my dog, and you gave it to him for the full circle, which you already said, full circle. So all in all, Bob, share brain on that one. I think most of the people listening and watching would say the same exact thing, man. It was very good writing, and he didn't give him, thought he was also like, you talk like that to Homelander. I thought he was going to give him one of those extra gruesome deaths, and he just broke the neck, called it a day.
Yeah. And credit to them for putting out 1 and 2. I think in the past they had done like 3 to start, like 1, 2, 3, and then you get the block kind of like they did with Invincible. This is one that you could have just put out episode 1 and saved episode 2 for next week. And I think people would have been fine with that. People would have been happy. But the fact that we were able to launch right into the next one, I was like, oh shit, A-Train's dead. Homelander's fucking after the rest of them. Like, this is exciting. And it was exciting. And I didn't even think in the moment, you don't have enough time to think going into the next episode. Like, of course, David Diggs's preacher character is going to be the one running the funeral. And I thought that was so good too, where it's the funeral, but then Homelander also like almost has like a come to Jesus moment where he hears the voice of like, my sweet boy. And he's just like all thrown off. And Anthony Starr again, crushes. What an actor. His facial reactions are just the subtle like lip twitches, the eye twitches, the like everything he does with his face. It's a shame that he has not won an Emmy yet, and I don't think he's going to get one for this. I don't think they're in the business of recognizing shows like The Boys right now. But he's tremendous. He should get like a lifetime achievement, like, I don't know, the Saturn Awards, like the Sci-Fi Awards show. Like, give him one of those.
What we need is someone that is in charge of a show that those award shows do reward. Get him on there. That guy proves he can handle the business.
Get him in the Star Wars universe. Let him play like a weird Star Wars character next.
Okay. It's
just tough to like, when I say that, my mind goes right to like Homelander, but in Star Wars. He can't do that.
Oh man, the guy who played, I think, Qyburn in Game of Thrones, right? And then they brought him in. He was awesome.
He was great. He's going to be in something coming up this year. I just saw some trailer that he was in, and I was like, oh shit, that's fucking Qyburn. Also, speaking of Star Wars and The Boys, I believe The Boys finale is in my calendar, May 20th, which is the day before The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yeah.
That's a loaded week.
That's
a loaded week in the basement. They're each going to have to get their own episode, I think.
Yeah, we're going to have to. At that point, Invincible and Daredevil will be done, right? So that at least that'll be off the plate.
Yeah. That'll be episode 499.6 and 499.7 probably.
Hopefully we can get into a preview of Mando, just so then we'll have everything ready to rock day of. But if not, like you said, might start throwing letters 49.7A, 499.7B.
Samir has remade the virus. We know that, and we're going to test it on this guy rock hard. Nobody gives a fuck about this soup. He got canceled for fucking the Lincoln Memorial, so this is the guy to try it, which was also like, what the fuck? And then everyone starts banging. Like, right after this conversation, Huey and Annie start banging as soon as Mother's Milk leaves the room to put on his Britney Spears t-shirt. I was like, he's definitely going to walk back in. And then Frenchie and Kimiko get into it a little bit, but then they get into it a little bit, and everyone's banging.
dueling sex scenes was not something I had on the old bingo card, as everyone says these days.
But it is, I guess it's for them. They're like, we're going to battle. Let's get this one last bang in, maybe.
And it's that plus the, hey, I haven't seen my significant other in a very long time. And listen, people, if you're in a long distance relationship or, you went away for a while, whatever reason, yes, prison, you're like post-prison release, or in this case, escape sex has to be the number one sex.
And you were on the chopping block. They were not just prison.
On the chop.
Death row.
Death row sex, death row escape sex. Now that's the good stuff right there. So of course, the fact they made it as long as they did, and they waited for people to leave the room before ripping each other's
clothes. It's been a year,
off.
Right? They said, it's been a year. Like they kept saying, it's been a rough year. You had a rough year. Yeah. So it is impressive that they made it. I truly thought Mother's Milk was going to walk in and be like, oh, knock that shit off though. But he didn't. He was just wearing his fucking Britney shirt, rocking that Britney shirt.
The Britney shirt made me laugh every time I saw it. And so they have Starlight and Huey obviously do their thing. Then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, we're getting like, first of all, the French language is a beautiful language. I learned that as he's like,
language
monomaying her to death. And then we're getting skin with those two. I was like, whoa, the other two just went behind the scenes, and obviously different actors with different levels and different agents probably saying this is what we'll agree to. But I was like, man, we're seeing a whole bunch of stuff I wasn't expecting to see. So good for those crazy young kids out there. Because like you said, post death row escape sex 1-1 if the dog walk ever does that to them.
We meet Rock Hard. He's not what they imagined. He's like Jabba the Hutt. Like he's just this mound of magma and rock. And they're looking at him being like, how do we even use this against him? Realizes he could hold his breath for hours at a time. So they're like, well, what the fuck? We're going to have to sit here and wait. And then he's watching volcanoes and eruptions and stuff. And they realize he's watching porn. This is rock porn. He fucking comes magma. Just disgusting. But again, funny and creative. And like, it was just like, wait, what's that? Oh my God, he's about to come.
And the talking machine was great because he was like extra weird like with his burns and stuff. He was just roasting them. And I was like, I kind of like just how ridiculous this is. And it kind of reminded me of like when the Bose was really cooking. I think it was more stuff like this that I like than just the literal just dicks over the head.
And they realized like he is cum. Like
he is like, cum.
That is like giant cum dried up.
What's the word when like a rock hardens? It's like he's
is it obsidian or something?
I guess I'm thinking of like the term for it, but it's
like water and lava.
Yeah, exactly. But very like a fun twist you can laugh at.
Yeah. And then we get Homelander unfreezing Soldier Boy, brings Soldier Boy into the 7, introduces him. Oh, he's going to be my new number 2. Immediately gets him a pardon from the president, and then tells the president, like, go and get us some drinks. That was so good. When he's like, the president's like, well, he did commit treason, sir. He's like, he'll get the pardon. He's like, absolutely, sir, right away. And we're going to get you the drink. Yeah, in Manhattan. We see, again, parents being taken away from their kids. We get the Countess Crow Mother's Milk convo. So where Rock Hard is like the hype house. It's like the Josh Richards TikTok house for Vought, basically. And one of the streamers there is, Kicks, I think. Yeah.
K-I-X,
one of the streamers there being Countess Crow. And I thought the conversation between her and Mother's Milk was good. Mother's Milk just showing almost that like parental guidance, that smart side of him, the wisdom that he could impart upon her. It was good stuff.
Yeah. And like, she wasn't a part of it as much as the other two, but the TikTok of like a plane crash or people getting like, taken away from their families, and then like ads being read during it. It kind of was like
crazy.
We kind of are living in some fucking crazy times where a show could even be like, this is what the world is like right now. And I'm like, man, I don't even want to know what's on TikTok right now.
Well, you go on like, listen, I don't want to make it too political. You go on like the White House TikTok right now. They're posting memes like this. They really are. Yeah.
I've seen
when
she
brings out the lady stuff. And they're like, we got to do that again. And she brings out the lady again. It was like, what the hell?
Jesus Christ. Oh boy. All right. She's like, you forgot to say acai, and oh god.
Then we get Soldier Boy attacking the boys, throws the fucking shield through the windshield, and we know this vial of the venom, the serum or whatever, is super fragile. We learned that right away, and it's just the rest of the episode is like, who's going to drop the hot potato? Oh no, the serum, the venom, the virus. Change of plan immediately as they see Soldier Boy. They're like, we got him. He's our new guinea pig. I guess we're using it against Soldier Boy. The influencers show up with Soldier Boy and they have their back and forth, their conversation. That was great. Huey is dropped from the sky by one of them. Starlight comes in for the save. And then we find out when we bring him back to the hype house, the virus works. It's like Huey has it. I swear I was looking at it. I'm like, I don't see that little test tube inside. It looked like almost like a water bottle or something. I didn't fully, but I was like looking at it. I was like, is that little black tube in there? And then we find out, no. Frenchie's already pouring it out. They get the warts on their face. Looks so gross. They're all fucking puking up, and it's getting even the Rock guy. His head explodes. We see his brain of Rock Hard, and it ends with weirdly like a Taco Bell ad. I noted that where Sister Sage is like, I just got my cheesy gordita crunch. I didn't go with the Doritos Locos Taco this time, or the chicken quesadilla, or the chicken cantina taco. She's naming the menu.
When she named the cantina, I'm like, bell knower, big time bell knower there. And I'll be honest, Bob, and I know her thing, isn't she eating and she like purges herself? So she like, that's like her way of like, but I was like, fuck, I gotta get Taco Bell. I've been starving ever since they said that. It's fucking mean is what it was. But hey, go work by Taco Bell with that organic advertising, whatever.
So organic. Could never tell. We get to Ashley talking to the back of her head. I like the way they shot it, like where you could kind of see it in the reflection of the car. The CGI was a little rough here. It was fine. It's whatever. It was just looked like a video game head on the back of her head a little bit. I was like, all right. End of the episode. They ran out of budget for this one, and it is what it is.
Do you think she becomes president at some point, or at least runs for president?
I do.
I think so.
I do.
And like psychic side of things too. I think she knows the website.
I don't think the series will end as her as president, though.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I think her becoming president will be very real. Will feel like a very real scenario, though.
Yeah.
Or short-lived, yes.
Then we get Frenchie saying, I want to take Kamiko away. She says, no, we have to stay. We have to be with everyone. Then you get the Deep showing up at the scene of what happened with Soldier Boy, and Homelander hits with it should have been you. And that cut deep. That's, no pun intended, cut deep. That might be the thing that finally turns the Deep on Homelander and gets him on the boy's side and gets him going after Homelander. It should have been you. And then he goes up to Soldier Boy. He's like, I can't believe this. Walks away. He sits up like the fucking Undertaker. So what do we got now, Clem? Are we have zombie soups? Does this venom not kill them, but turns them into zombies?
So the question is, are the other ones dead and stay dead? Right? Like
Rockhard has to be, right? We saw his brains.
Well, he's definitely dead. The flying guy, the blue guy.
Yeah.
And that guy, I mean, there's never been anyone who I've wanted to die more for 5 seconds of screen time than this guy. Like, I was like, fuck that dude. I did see a theory that maybe the OG soups, like our boy, Soldier Boy, might be, I wouldn't say immune, but it reacts differently to them and whatever is going to happen. So now that this virus is out there, which he could become a super spreader, I would say, right? Because he still has the virus, but he is not dead or everyone's sealed off or whatever. We're in the end game. This was my note. You said it for what was it? Daredevil, or I think you said for Daredevil. We're in the end game now with the boys, and granted, this is the final season, but like it started. The clock has begun. I don't know, like what do they call that? The doomsday clock. Like we are at 11:59 and 59 seconds here. And I don't know where Soldier Boy's going because, these guys, quote unquote, killed him. I think he's smart enough to be like, Homelander basically threw me out as his guinea pig, who they think used me as a guinea pig for their virus. And then he is also potentially contagious. I don't know which way. And I'll be honest, when he first stood up, I go, well, now this kind of makes the virus seem like a pussy thing. But if they do twist it where because of his DNA, it doesn't affect him, but it could affect others. Whether or not it affects Homelander, I'm sure we're going to find out.
Or if it's just like, that was the test. It's like, you got to change one thing in the formula. And now the virus, that was the real virus. Like we needed a guinea pig to get one virus out there. I don't know what they're going to fucking do with that, but I agree. Everything is, and Homelander was already on, or Soldier Boy was already on to Homelander a little when he's like, you were in cryo for 2 years. Yeah. I just found out. He's like, but you have that in your room, and like the camera pans to
Oh God, is this incest? Did you fuck me?
yeah. What would you say? Daredevil, Invincible, Mall Shadow Lord, and The Boys won the week for you.
That's a good
who is
question,
the
Bob.
winner of the Nerd Week?
That's a good question. I'm gonna say Daredevil.
I'm gonna say Daredevil as well. I think Daredevil had the highest highs this week.
So I think like it's almost a little unfair. You could say, well, they just happen to have that end of episode, but I think this is when the pedal does hit the metal. So I think next week, I think Daredevil is probably the favorite to win next week too, because I do think we are going to get some. The wild card is coming out in Fisk, but then it's like I'm also adding the Billy Joel scene. If the boys brought it back and then it was some Billy Joel there when he's he sits up and Piano Man starts playing at the end there with Soldier Boy. Maybe I would have been a fucking maybe I would have said the boys, but it's
they did hit a good needle drop though. I get knocked down.
Yeah,
that was good. That was a good needle drop.
I was gonna make a whole thing about how much I love that needle drop. That was one of my favorites, man. Chumbawamba, shout out. AJ doesn't let me call him a lot of things. Like I used to have a million nicknames for him, and one of the few nicknames, Chumley. He allows Chumley. My dad used to call me Chumley. I was like, "Hey, Chumley," and I said, "What about Chumbawamba?" He goes, "Yeah, you can call me that too." So I'm AJ. Sometimes I call him Chumbawamba. So it was great to hear that song come on.
I love it. Listen, it was a lot of recapping this week, but it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of good content. Shout out to all of the shows that we recap for bringing their A game. They knew this was the year of the basement.
Yeah, they did. And you know what? It's crazy. It sounds. It's only two of the streamings. It was Disney and Prime. That
and we got all of them. Yeah,
and we got more coming next week. So subscribe to all the goddamn platforms you can. Again, you got to go on the YouTube if you want to get everything, because there's going to be stuff that's going on YouTube that will not be on audio.
Exactly. All right. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you next week.